You. I'm gonna wait for everybody to come on in. I know you guys by now have seen the Joseph Parker footage. I can't even remember the song. I had never heard it before, but the creativity that dude put into that video. All right, I'm gonna wait for some of y'all to come in before I start breaking it on down. Know what I mean? J. Roos Theory in the building. Addery in the building. What's up, man? Salute to you. This is the best call out in history. Yeah, man, there's no doubt about that. He had the boy man thing going. Shout out to you, man. But that was hilarious. Just how that the picture he chose of Dillian White too, where Dillian, I'll just say Dillian's in an awkward stance, and I just thought it was funny how well Joseph Parker, stayed in character. Trying to read this name right here. The print is so small. That's a hard name for me to pronounce, man. Sorry about that. But shout out to you for tuning in. Yeah, that call out was hilarious. I wonder how long it took him to film that. I'd love to see a behind the scenes to that. I even watched the interview that Dillian White's brother Dean White did, and he was talking about how it was a spectacle, and he was saying how they put a lot of time into that. Just I didn't even know Joseph Parker was looking to get a rematch with Dillian White, but maybe after seeing Dillian's last performance, maybe he's like, now's the time. But Dean White was saying that his brother should go the same route that Joseph Parker went by, like getting a big track record. He was saying he should fight Kane, and then he should fight Joe Joyce, and I don't know if he gets past Joe Joyce, but you know, Joe Joyce is still kind of heavy-handed, so I don't know. You might want to skip Joyce if you want to rematch with Parker, but he could do a rematch with Jermaine Franklin perhaps, because a lot of people in the UK thought that Jermaine won that fight. I'm sure Jermaine thinks he won that fight, so I'm sure he'd want to run that back. But that call out was just the looks that Joseph Parker was giving the camera. See, a lot of people don't know what a funny guy he is because he's kind of considered one of the nicer guys in boxing, and he's like, he's never disrespectful, but that doesn't stop him from being a comedic genius, it looks like. So I don't know if Dillian's gonna respond because Dillian's funny too. I just hope Dillian can keep it PG like Joseph Parker did, and we can have the battle of the wits, see who's funnier, and then eventually they'll get in the ring. I don't think they'll fight next, of course. And I'm hearing talk of Daniel Dubois fighting Hrgovic. Um, and here's another case where I want Dubois to win, but I think Hrgovic might do it. Uh, he just sounded real confident when he referred to them fighting in the amateurs. I know that was a long time ago, but someone told me during my live stream that Riley dude beat Dubois in the amateurs. And I was like, wow, how'd that happen? I kind of think Hrgovic will win, but I want Dubois to win, kind of like the Jarrell Big Baby Miller fight. I kind of thought Miller was going to win, but I wanted Dubois to win. So, looks like my chat disappeared again. Joseph Parker versus Jermaine Franklin would be a good fight. Yeah, it would be, actually. Adoray says, Jay Roosh, you don't look 50, you look 30. Hey, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Much respect. He says you can say Ikram. I hope I'm saying that right. Yeah, I appreciate the love for everybody tuning in. Yeah, I trying to take care of myself, but I give the credit to the Most High. You know, saw an interesting interview. Speaking of age, Mike Tyson did with Hannity. I thought Hannity got let go from Fox. Maybe it was on some other network, but Mike Tyson was saying that Jake Paul is pretty much in trouble. He said he's nervous too, because he doesn't want to look bad. But he said he's definitely not in this for the money. And Hannity had the nerve to tell Mike Tyson that he thought Jake Paul was faster than him. Mike checked him on the spot. He's like, I don't believe he's faster than me. He's like, what footage have you been watching, Hannity? Oh, the sped up version of Jake Paul? Well, I can see why you think that. That was sped up, man. You've been on TV how many years? You should know doctored footage, man. What's up with that? But Mike Tyson checked him, let him know he's not in this for the money. And he said this is the right state of mind he needs to be in before a fight. He said by the time fight night comes, he'll be ready to go. So he said don't look at it as an exhibition because there's no headgear, this and that. He's looking to hurt Jake Paul. And hurt Jake Paul, I believe he will do. I don't really see Jake Paul just doesn't have the experience to beat someone like Mike Tyson. First of all, he's never had a real bout against a heavyweight and not a puncher like Mike Tyson. Sure, he sparred with dudes allegedly in the gym that are heavyweights, but that's not world caliber and it's not Mike Tyson. And I watched an interview with Jake Paul's former trainer, BJ Flores, who said, Mike, he said what I've been telling you guys, and this is coming from Jake's old trainer. And he's not, he's not angry that he's not working with Jake because he's still saying he hopes Jake wins, but he's like, hey, Mike is like everybody's uncle. So he doesn't have nothing against either guy. But he said what I've been telling you. Now keep in mind, this is from Jake's old trainer. He said, Mike isn't the normal 57. That's what I've been telling you guys. You guys put everybody in the box. Everybody that's 57 is the same 57. Absolutely not. We're all different. Everybody looks different. And unfortunately, everybody doesn't think differently because there's a lot of sheep out there that are being told what to think. If we all thought different, then perhaps we wouldn't walk into so many traps, but that's another story. But, Mike looks like he's ready to go. I saw more footage of him that got leaked to the public. Jake's in trouble. I don't care what anybody says. And there's some platforms jumping ship here. Wallace, what's up? Parker versus Joyce 2 should happen. Yeah, I believe that will happen. Not sure when. I think Joyce might want a couple of fights before he takes on Parker because Parker's been consistent in Joyce. He wants to, I think, get more used, get the ring rust off, as they say, and then, he said he's fine at 280, but, he knows what he feels best at, but I think he's probably best around maybe just 10 pounds lighter, maybe, but I don't know. He knows better than me. It's his body. But, yeah, that would be a good fight, and Parker might be doing a music video for Joyce next, part 2, the club mix. Joseph Parker, man, got a great sense of humor. I mean, you can't help but to like Joseph Parker. He doesn't embarrass the sport. He's a family man, great sense of humor, doesn't talk disrespectful to people. So, shout out to him. Think he just had another child too. Yeah, Joyce definitely needs a tune-up. Yeah, absolutely. Joyce needs a tune-up. He needs a new trainer. He needs somebody to teach him how to stop having his chin as the first line of defense. This dude just goes in there like, go ahead, hit me. I can take it. Pow. I can take it. Zane was like, okay. Couldn't take it. Ika Ibeabuchi versus Joe Joyce, man. That would probably be another instant classic. Yeah. I got Ike. Ike Ibeabuchi. The dude stayed in shape. I got Ike. Of course, he's got to have some tune-ups first. I'm not saying Joyce, the first fight, out, but I got Ike. You know I'm gonna go with the '90s dudes. And there's some platforms out there that'll remain nameless, actually saying that Frazier Clark got robbed against against Wardley. Is like, yeah, I can see you say he should have won, but Rob, the dude's spitting out his mouthpiece because he's trying to get a rest, collapsing at the end of the fight from exhaustion, got knocked down, but yet he won. That's interesting. What part of the game is that? Or just because he had dude's nose leaking? Nah, that's not enough to win you a fight. Wardley didn't hit the canvas, so I don't quite get. It's like me and some channels just don't see eye to eye on anything. Adore says Tim Witherspoon would be a very good boxing trainer for Joe Joyce. Oh man, that would be my first choice because he's got the defense thing kind of down to a science. He's got that Philly shell thing down. He could teach Joe Joyce and so many heavyweights something about defense because, as I said in my last live stream, I don't see defense being too high on the scale when it comes to today's heavyweights. They just seem like they don't care if they get hit. And these dudes are too big and strong nowadays to take an accumulation of shots to the proverbial dome. Oh, that's a big word. You guys like that? Proverbial? You like that?
Yeah.
Proverbial? You like that? You got the wifey in the house. Got my son Lennox Roos in the house playing video games. Maybe he'll go live tonight. Go subscribe to Lennox Roos, trying to get the wife to start a channel. Keep it in the family. The L Roos theory, the C Roos theory. Let's just keep the theories going, you know what I mean? That's how we do. But yeah, I don't see how any way that Clark was robbed. It could have gone either way or a draw, but robbery, nah, that's a bit excessive. I don't even think Clark would say that, and he was in the fight. But the heavyweight division is looking nice again, and everybody trying to say going back to Mike Tyson, everybody's saying that he's too old and broken down. You're gonna watch. I said if they do these exhibition rules, I probably wouldn't watch. But listening to Mike talk to Hannity, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, I think I'm gonna watch because Mike sounds like he's got a point to prove. And his little movement, the two quick jabs and then coming up to the body, and then Jake ain't ready for nothing like that. Being hit by Mike Tyson, I would assume is like being kicked by a horse. And that doesn't usually end good if you stand behind a horse and get kicked. That usually doesn't go too good for the human. So, but Jake's about to find that out, and everybody else that keeps writing Mike off, they're writing off the wrong person. As I've said before, that I read on some comments, a 57-year-old lion is still a lion. Jake will find that out, and all his little fanboys that get emotional. Yeah, I'm sick of you little Jake Paul fanboys coming on my platform talking like you hard. You guys ain't hard. You guys be talking like you gonna do something, you little keyboard warriors and cell phone gorillas. Y'all ain't gonna do nothing. If you see me in person, y'all gonna sit there and look at the ground like you don't notice me. So stop trying to act hard over the internet. You're not hard. Stop it. Stop it. Wallace says, who is the greatest heavyweight of all time in your opinion? I got Lennox Lewis as my top heavyweight of all time. Too strong, too much ring IQ. He knew how to use his height. He knew how to use his weight. I always say there's no point of coming in heavy if you don't know how to use your weight. He knows how to use it. And even Emmanuel Stewart, who's considered the greatest trainer of all time, he said Lewis would have been a problem for anybody in history. Anybody. George Foreman said it. Muhammad Ali has said it. So these are the top G's in the sport. If they're saying it, who am I to go against them? They know what they're talking about. Oh, shout out to a platform that just started on YouTube called Your Boy in the Bunker. He's across the pond. He did an interesting video breaking down Mike Tyson's interview with Sean Hannity. I watched it and I enjoyed it. He thinks Mike is going to win too. So go check him out and go subscribe to Your Boy in the Bunker. You know what I mean? He had the muscles out too. Adore says Anthony Joshua versus Ron Lyle. Man, that would be a nice fight, but I think Ron Lyle's a bit too wild for Joshua, and Joshua, as big as Ron Lyle was, Joshua was still the bigger man. So I got AJ by probably 7th round KO. He says, I call them internet braves. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, man. It's like they have no power outside, So when they get on the internet, then's their time to shine. I got people mad at me because I said Jake Paul sped up the footage. They're like, well, why aren't you showing the footage? So I don't get copyrighted. That's why I'm not showing it. What you mean, why am I not showing it? How come you're not showing it? Like they can't find it. So I told them where they could find it. They can find it on Instagram. They can find it on Counterpunch Boxing News. He showed it, and he knows how to work around all that stuff. And you could just find it on YouTube. Just type in Jake Paul training for Mike Tyson. You'll find it. It's not like I made it up. So, they're just in their feelings right now. What did one dude say to me? He said, oh, yeah, it's like 1,500 subscribers and only 24 likes. How much did you pay for that? I was like, yo, dude, check it out. Only thing I'll pay for is your education, which seems to be missing in action. That's the only thing I'm going to pay for. I don't pay for nothing, man. You sound silly, man. Get out of here. Send you to the YouTube block party. Send you the population, man, But anyway, back to the show.
What?
Jake Paul can't even lace Tyson's jockstrap. Nah, he can't. He can't. Jake Paul's I don't know why everybody's so impressed by the dudes he's fighting. And like I said before, the fact that it's an exhibition, that's not to protect Mike. They're acting like it's because of Mike's age. That's to protect Jake. You think Mike Tyson hasn't been hit by someone harder than Jake? Shout out to Showbiz. He just showed a video where Mike Tyson was holding the pads for these other guys, and Mike said, if you hit me, I'm going to mess you up. And it's like they knew to take Mike serious. Seriously, I should say. Y'all keep thinking Mike is done if you want to. What's one fantasy boxing? Lennox Roos with a great question. Says, what's one fantasy boxing matchup for you wish happened? Lennox Lewis, Riddick Bowe. I would have loved to see that, man. And that's the fight we had all wanted in the 90s. Never got it because Lewis had lost to McCall with a political stoppage that was too soon. And then Riddick got beat by Holyfield in the second fight. And then he got destroyed by Andrew Galata. And it just was off at that point, especially after the second Galata beating, even though Galata got disqualified. I mean, you could just see that it was over for Riddick. So, yeah. Great question, son. Great question. I think I missed a comment up here. Jake Paul needs to morph into a killer that night to stand a chance of beating Mike on the night. Yeah. Mike Tyson did say though that Jake Paul's no longer that little dancing kid from Disney, but he might turn him back into that dancing kid from Disney once he feels that power. He might be like, where's the cameras? Where's the Matterhorn at? So yeah. Riddick Bowe versus George Foreman. Ooh, that's a tough one. I got Big George. George's chin was crazy. Like I said, George never hit the canvas when he came back. He hit the canvas when he was younger. Some more proof that you guys are putting too much on age. Notice George was fighting young guys in his 40s, never touched the canvas. When he was in his 20s, he hit the canvas. Oh, but I forgot, when you're 40, you're decrepit and you need to go buy a walker off Amazon. My bad. Forgot about that. I hope Jake remembers that when he wakes up on a stretcher. I hope he remembers Mike Tyson was 58. But yeah, I got George Foreman. Just because, he could withstand anything that Riddick hits him with. And George Foreman said Riddick never threw really a textbook overhand right. It was kind of wild and looping. Tim Witherspoon throws a similar right, but it's more, how do I say it? It's a little less wild than the one Riddick threw, and it was more effective. Go watch the beating that Tim Witherspoon put on Jorge Luis Gonzalez. He kept that dude in the corner like Riddick Bowe did. He had that little shag that that Jorge had just flying around, knocked him. He hit Jorge so hard the dude spun around and was facing the audience, and then for good measure hit him on the back of the head while he was falling. My buddy Daryl used to laugh so hard we just watched that over and over. It's like the dude's falling to the mat with the ropes in his face, and he's like, take that on your way down. I want to make sure you don't get up. Tim said dude was real arrogant too in the leading up to the fight. I told you guys about my encounter with Jorge Luis Gonzalez in Sacramento, California. He was at the Lennox Lewis Lionel Butler fight, like sitting maybe 5 rows ahead of me. And I don't know if he thought I was a fighter or what, but he kept looking back with his cowboy hat trying to mad dog me and my buddy Arturo that I was with. He's like, you see him trying to mad dog you? I was like, yeah. Nobody's scared of no Jorge Luis Gonzalez. Remember he threw that glass at Riddick Bowe at the press conference. He's like, I kill you, American. And he got in the ring and got his head flown. And I always trip off dudes that do all this talking and then they get beat up. Adore says, I always wanted to see Larry Holmes versus George Foreman. They had talked about that fight for a long time, and I forget why that didn't come about, but I thought we were going to get that because Larry Holmes had built up a winning streak. He was beating this, I forget the guy's name, on Tuesday Night Fights. It was this white guy, and he wasn't happy with the stoppage or something, and he was talking mad trash to Larry Holmes, calling him old. Larry Holmes is like, yeah, I'm old, but I whooped your butt. He just kept saying it. There's another person. Larry Holmes came back in an advanced age and did good for himself. Gave Holyfield problems. Didn't win, but he gave him problems. So, yeah, that would have been a good fight, George against Larry. I got George again. Tim Witherspoon versus Riddick Bowe would have been a very good boxing match. Yeah, it would have been a battle of the overhand rights. Riddick in his prime, man, that would have been tough. Even Tim Witherspoon wanted to see Riddick Bowe versus Lennox Lewis, so he had them two in high regard. But I don't know. Riddick Bowe, as technically sound as he was on the inside, I still think he got a little careless, and that's how Galata was able to make him look so bad. Galata would have beat him both fights had he had the discipline to stop hitting him low. So yeah, I got my dude Tim again, and I'm not just saying that because he's the friend. I got Tim. Terrible Tim Witherspoon, y'all. Go watch his highlights. You'll see what I mean. Dude was tough. If he hadn't had all those problems with his promoter Don King, man, I think he would be a more of a household name. Tim Withers. Oh, I've read that one already. Ike Abeabuchi versus Tyson would be nice to see Abeabuchi beat Tua. Yeah, that would be. Yeah, shout out to you, man. Yeah, that would be a great fight. I see David Tua. Someone asked him about. I think he might want a fight with Tyson because if you go on David Tua's Instagram, this dude is training like he does have a fight coming up, and he's even looks like training MMA. He's kicking, and Of course, you know David Tua has legs like a tree stump, man. Calves, legs. That's why he was so hard to knock down. But yeah, I would like to see Tua Abeabuchi too. I like to. They're the same age. They're both 51. We're all 51. I like to see Mike Tyson Abeabuchi. Why not? Why not? But Mike said going into this fight with Jake Paul that he's not going to be smoking. He said that's going to make him real irritable. So, do you think you really want to fight an irritated Mike Tyson? Probably not. Probably not. You probably don't want to make Mike too angry because, nah. Even Roy Jones was saying how Mike still has power, and Mike was kind of pulling his punches when he fought Roy. And if Roy still felt that, and Mike was high, I believe, before that fight. So if a high Mike Tyson can make you feel it, what you think a sober Mike Tyson is going to do, Mr. Jake? Jakey, wakey, man. Come on, man. Muhammad Ali versus Evander Holyfield. Ooh. Ah. Tough one. Tough one. Ooh. Probably Evander. Look at all the problems that Joe Frazier gave Muhammad Ali. He had that brawling style, and probably Evander edges it out by decision. You know, maybe split decision, maybe Evander. Yeah, I got Evander. Ali's style went good against certain guys, but then other guys, you know, not so much. I guess that plays into the saying that I hate: styles make fights. I get so tired of that one. Styles make fights. Styles make fights. Hearts make fights. I don't care what style you have. If you have no heart, you're probably not going to win the fight. And there's plenty of fights where you can look that up and see how true that statement is. I mean, everybody's got a level of heart to even step in the ring in the first place, even if it's just sparring. So, but it comes down to, do you have that championship level heart? Do you have a heart to be a champion, or do you just kind of want to get a check and bounce? You know what I mean? So, what's the next big heavyweight fight we got? I guess it's next month. What is it? The 18th? Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk for the undisputed heavyweight championship. I still got Usyk, and I say if Usyk doesn't win, it will be a draw. And until I see some footage or interview to alter my view, that's my prediction, and I'm sticking to it. Like Mr. T or Clubber Lang said in Rocky 3. Prediction? Prediction? Pain. That was one of Dolph Lundgren's favorite lines from Rocky 3. So yeah, I guess the next big heavyweight fight is Tyson Fury and Usyk. And Usyk is looking like he's put on a little bit of muscle, and Fury's looking like he's getting very slimmed down. So both guys are trying to get acclimated to one another. I'm hoping Tyson Fury doesn't lose so much weight that he finds himself weight drained, because that can happen. But he's got so many weeks until the fight that, you know, I'm sure he'll get used to whatever weight he's coming in at. But I'm wondering too, if Fury ever does fight Anthony Joshua, if what happens with Ben Davison. If I was Ben, I'd stick with AJ. Be like, that ship is sailed with Tyson Fury. That's just me. And I'm hearing that Deontay Wilder might be signing with Eddie Hearn in Matchroom. He might be in the 5 versus 5 Queensberry versus Matchroom. That would be interesting. before or after I saw Wilder versus Parker, I didn't want to see AJ versus Wilder no more. But some time has passed, and if Wilder can get focused, then that fight should happen. And I believe Mr. Turkey will make it happen. He's making these fights. He's making these dream fights happen. So, and with the money that the Saudis are putting out there, that's motivation to stay in shape and stop making whack music videos for Deontay. Yeah, and they're talking about what month are they talking about? I think I've even heard that there might be talking about AJ versus Wilder maybe in September. I don't know, but AJ's gonna have to find somebody to fight while he's waiting for Usyk and Fury to have their rematch, and Hergovich Dubois is gonna have to wait for that. I hope there's no rematch clause with that. Hopefully, the winner of Hergovich Dubois fights AJ next, or if these rematch clauses just cause too much delay, these fights keep lapping over into the next year. It's like, oh man, rematches. Do we always need a rematch? We see that Errol Spence and Crawford never happened. Errol Spence, I don't think, wants any part of Crawford since he tweeted that Crawford is looking like a linebacker right now. So I think Errol Spence is like, nah, that ship is sailed too. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this fight with Fundora. I don't think that's gonna happen though. Why should he get a fight before before Crawford? But PBC, does the P in PBC stand for Politrix? You tell me. Cabello versus Frank Sanchez will be on the undercard of Usyk versus Fury. Who you got? Oh, that's a good. I had heard about that and forgot. Anthony Joshua will become heavyweight champion again. Yeah, I believe that. I think he and Joshua will end up fighting again too. But Cabello versus Frank Sanchez. Ooh, that is a tough one to pick because Cabello really surprised me the way he got Makhmudov out of there. I've seen way more of Frank Sanchez than I've seen of Cabello. I've done a video on Cabello, and I think he fought Chisora years ago. I think he fought Chisora, but I think he fought Chisora years ago, but I still haven't seen much of Cabello, but I liked what I saw. So right now, I'm gonna say Cabello. I'm gonna just say that because I saw Frank Sanchez rocked in the first round by like a journeyman type dude. So I'm gonna say Cabello, but I'm gonna do some more uh, boxing studies on Cabello and more looking at Frank Sanchez before I give my ultimate decision and break it on Diggy down, if you know what I mean. But that's a great fight for the undercard. I'm sure that's the co-main event too. See, Andy Ruiz, you could be getting in on some of the action here, man. You could be getting in on some of this action instead of waiting around for that $20 million payday. Waiting around for a big $20 million payday, you could have had like 3 or 4 fights that would have eventually equaled 20 million, rather than sitting on the sideline getting zero. 20 mil is bigger than zero. So 4 fights that come to 20 million or no fights that come to 0 million. You decide, Andy. You don't have to be a genius in math either, homie. You don't have to be a genius in math. Math was never my strong suit, but I can even understand that. But yeah, thanks for the reminder because I heard about that and then I forgot that they were fighting. I don't know about the other fights on the undercard. I heard some people were kind of disappointed at the lineup, but I don't know. I didn't know. I have to look into that. What else is going on in the heavyweight division? What else is going on? I don't know. I think I've covered all the fighters, all the fights. Of course, AJ's back in the gym. Check out Ben Davison's Instagram. You can see him and AJ working the pads. AJ looking very fit as always, legs looking strong, upper body looking strong. And you can see he wants to build off every victory that he's had. He stays in the gym. He's giving y'all the blueprint on success, like I did a video about. So is Joseph Parker. They're giving you the blueprint on how to be successful, whether you're heavyweight or featherweight. You stay active. You stay active. Keeps your pockets fat, and it keeps you in shape, keeps your mind strong. I just don't understand. I don't understand. They're showing you what it takes. They're showing you that you can make lots of money in this. And people are just like, nah, I'm a holdout, ask for a $30 million fight against somebody that nobody really wants to see. Yes, how realistic is that? Not very realistic at all. Oh shoot, I missed Andrew Ruiz versus Dillian White would be great. Yeah, yeah, man. I got Andrew Ruiz winning that. Bruce Gas in the building. What up, man? Salute, brother. I saw some of the video you did where you nice view of the water out there, man. That was real nice. Well said, Jay. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I just call them like I see them. I got my favorite fighters, but I'm not gonna say I'm gonna think they win if I don't really think so. AJ's my favorite heavyweight right now, but I said that he would lose to Usyk in the rematch, so I'm not gonna just say whatever. I also said Andy Ruiz would be his toughest fight the first time. I was right about that. So, I'm fair. Still have my favorites. Terrence Crawford, one of my favorites. Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Usyk. I like all of them. Chisora did an interview pretty recent where he was on IFL TV, and he was going in on Mr. Ngannou when what's his name, Kagan was asking him a question about Ngannou's excuses. He was like, look, MFer, you got knocked out. He just went in. He's like, you got hit. He was saying he thinks he's done. He's thinking there's not even a big market for him in mixed martial arts now. He said he thinks even his youngest nephew could take him in a fight. He was just like, he said, what happened was, in his opinion, he said Tyson Fury made Ngannou look a lot better than what he was. So he's just saying that, AJ did to him what Tyson Fury should have done. And so basically, Chisora is saying that he would mop Francis Ngannou. And I had done a video saying that would be a good fight for Ngannou. Chisora's like, dude, please, I will destroy Ngannou. He may be right. He may be right. Chisora definitely don't fear nobody. Chisora will fight a gorilla. He don't care. A gorilla with a machine gun at that. Chisora just lets his mind. He just says whatever, man. Bruce Gas says, that's my backyard. Wow, that's your backyard? Wow, man. My dream house would be a beach house in Mission Beach, San Diego, Mission Bay. I was researching that. It was talking about all them houses facing the water, either for rent or $2 million. I was like, 2 million? Like, really? 2 million? I gotta get my bank up, man, because I gotta get that dream house. Just, sit in the living room, look out the window, play some Sade. Man, that would be beautiful. I even pull up videos of the Gaslamp District in downtown San Diego when I used to be a bouncer down there. Like, man. Nothing quite like California.
better than a volume.
Right, absolutely. What state do you live in, Bruce, if I may ask? Because looking out of the ocean, I just like that, man. It can be lonely, but it's a good lonely, you know. It's not like a like, oh man, I don't like this. It's not one of them kind of lonelies, you know, crying in my beard type of lonelies. Yeah, but that was I think you was playing some jazz too while you were showing the scenery. Oh, you're in Rhode Island. I live on the Mount Hope Bay. Oh man, for real? I'm gonna have to look into that. Wow. Yeah, that was nice, man. I like states with water. See, the problem with Georgia is where's the water, man? It's like they got these little man-made beaches that look like swamps. My homie did a rap video years ago, and I'm not trying to diss him, but you know, it just didn't look right. Got some girls in bikinis dancing in front of water that looks like mud. It's like, no, And now this Roman Reigns look is for my son. I'm giving this look for that video. That was a look Roman Reigns gave in WWE when he forgot his line, allegedly. Quan Big Gun, shout out to you, man. Chisora could get KO'd by Ngannou, but good fight. Yeah, he definitely could. I think he could too, especially if he's a little overconfident based off the Joshua fight. I can fish out my living room window. Are you serious, man? Wow. Fish out my living room window. WrestleMania weekend. Is this WrestleMania weekend? Oh, yeah, my son knows all about that. Wow. WrestleMania weekend. Isn't Dwayne Johnson back in WWE? Is Dwayne back? So who's the big headliner?
Seth, Rock, Cody, Roman.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something, brother. Y'all ever hear that rap song by Randy Macho Man Savage, where he was going at Hulk Hogan? Like Randy Savage had bars. Yeah, brother. Oh yeah. WrestleMania. Is that on Peacock? Wow, what's up with Peacock having all the events lately? 2 days of WrestleMania. Wow. So I guess you want to see that, huh? WrestleMania, man. I remember when they tried to market wrestling as being real. Then later they just admitted it. They're like, okay, it's sports entertainment. What do you want from me? I mean, we already knew it. You see punches clearly miss. The contact can be real sometimes, but you know, it's already decided who's going to win, obviously. Remember Thunder Lips versus Rocky? It's all fake, meatball, all fake. Hey, why'd you get so crazy on me out there? That's the name of the game. Man, I must have watched Rocky 3 growing up so much. I had it on VHS. Dude, I'm surprised I didn't just wear the reel off the tape. Me and my cousins, my family come over for the holidays. We just watch Rocky 2 and 3. And my cousin would say it just about every time he watched the last fight with Rocky and Clubber Lang. He's like, no, you know good and well Clubber Lang wouldn't have lost to no Rocky. And then when it shows Stallone beating Apollo Creed in the sand, he's like, now how is he beating Apollo Creed when they're both training every day? Like, why would he have gotten slower? Then some people are like, maybe Apollo let him win to give him that confidence that he needed. Ah, see? Creed was an intelligent guy. He was a businessman. He was a businessman. Carl Weathers, man. That dude. I used to like his show, Fortune Dane. It didn't last long. It was a cop show. Undercard, Joe Apatia versus Maris Joe Cardina versus Anthony Okay, I get Cabio versus Frank Sanchez. Mark Chamberlain versus Joshua. Oh, I don't even know how to say that. Kovalev versus Robbins. Yeah, I don't know. Some of these dudes. Oh, so that Atama dude is fighting too? Oh, wow. Wow. Thanks for that, man. I didn't know the lineup. I appreciate that. Thank you. Bruce says, are you saying Apollo Creed took a dive in Rocky too? Now, I was talking about when they were running on the beach, training for Clubber Lang. But a lot of people don't know. I heard that the original Rocky 2 script was that the crowd was yelling racist things at Creed, which would have been kind of corny. And then, I guess he threw the fight to something. It was a weird script. Like the original script for Rocky 4 was Apollo Creed died on purpose to bring world peace. I was like, oh, that's very, yeah, that's not realistic. So I remember when Tony Burton, who played Duke, who played Apollo Creed's trainer, he said when he and Stu Nahan went to the premiere, they thought it was still that script where Apollo, took one for the team, so to speak, and then it changed. They were like, wow, they were looking at each other like, what is this? This isn't what we read in the script. And he said they actually started crying in the theater when they saw the finished product because I guess it just looked like he just got beat up for no reason. Even Stallone said he regrets having Apollo Creed go out like that. That's why he kind of changed it, and Apollo Creed put up more of a fight in the director's cut. Rocky versus Drago. He didn't want it to look like a slaughter. Apollo Creed was in great shape for that fight, and for him to just get beat up like he was a nobody, he's like, I could have at least just put him in a wheelchair. I didn't have to take him out. So there's still some things that he said he was going to change that he forgot to change, like where Apollo Creed had his glove on, and then the next thing he said, "I want you," and there's no hand wraps or gloves. So he said he's going to change that, and then he still forgot to do it. No hand wraps or nothing. Yet he had the hand wraps on in the dressing room. So that shows how they film stuff out of sequence. Even on the flashback, sometimes they'll show he'll be having a flashback of a fight that hasn't even happened yet. That shows they film the fight scenes first, and then they film all the stuff around it. Fun little fact. Oh, you're welcome, man. I appreciate that, though. Yeah. I can't believe people at my job talking about how dangerous it's for Tyson to fight Jake Paul. I said, no way Jake Paul will hurt Mike. And they said, what? And they said, you're a Paul hater. Oh, wow. Well, they're a Mike hater. If you're a Paul hater, why are they letting themselves off the hook? These people are so annoying. They think Jake is Superman. Yeah, it's like they don't realize who Jake's been fighting. He's handpicked it very carefully who he's going to fight. And like I've said once again, I'm repeating myself a lot. Jake Paul's first time fighting a real professional boxer by the name of Tommy Fury, Jake Paul lost that fight. And that wasn't even a heavyweight fight. And Tommy Fury's not even known for being a puncher. So do you really think Mike Tyson, who been fighting since he was like 12, all of a sudden his muscles and everything forgot how to throw a correct punch? You can already see he's throwing his punches correctly. Jake ain't gonna know what he's up against. He's gonna feel them body shots and then left hooks, and he's gonna realize what he's in for. People picking Jake Paul obviously are just kind of like basically playing the lottery, hoping they win. They don't have nothing to really stand on. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know boxing. They obviously don't know Mike Tyson, and they obviously don't know Jake Paul either because he's not anywhere near a world class fighter at all. But I think we're gonna have to hear this all the way till July, man. Unfortunately, unless Mike Tyson puts out some more footage where he's knocking somebody out, I guess we gotta keep hearing how Mike Tyson's life is in danger from Jake Paul. Really, really. I know dudes I grew up with in Southeast Dago that fought in the street, never had a boxing match in their life that would go in there and completely nearly behead Jake Paul. That's just what it is. That's how little I'm impressed with Jake Paul. I would completely destroy Jake Paul. Completely, completely. I would just swing until he falls. I wouldn't even let up. I just rush the dude. Like I don't care what you hit me with. I just rush that dude. Like what's he gonna do? What, hit me with an uppercut? No, I'd be ready for that. And he's definitely not faster than me. He's not bigger than me. So what's he gonna do? But as we get closer to all these fights, I think all the Jake Paul hoopla, I think some of these dudes, reality might hit them, and they'll see how fit. If Mike is looking this fit this many weeks out, like what's he gonna look like closer to the fight, dude? You think White will give Parker the rematch? Yeah, I think eventually, but it's like his brother Dean was saying, he needs to build up some momentum to get the ring rust off. So I think he'll give him the rematch. That was a great fight them two had, and there was plenty of action. So yeah, he should give him the rematch, but not right now. He's not ready for Joseph right now. Parker's on a winning streak. They got Andy Lee. Andy Lee knows what he's doing. So yeah, it would be a bad move to do that right now when his only tune-up was Christian Hammer, and didn't look like Christian Hammer came to fight really. It's like Dean White said, he probably just took a hard blow from Dillian, and he's like, you know what? I'm not even getting paid enough for all this. That was a big Samoan in Parker's video, but I think the song was too soft. Yeah, I think they were trying to make it funny by kind of making it like a boy band. I don't think he was trying to come with like a real hard diss track. I think he was trying to make it like comical. I had never heard that song before, but perhaps I could show it, but then I'd have to turn the sound down for copyright reasons. And if you play it without the sound, it kind of takes away from the humor. But the way he showed Dillian on that portrait, like that was hilarious. I'm sure Dillian even laughed at that. But Dean White seems to be one of these guys too that's bought into the age myth on how you slow down your reflexes. No, that's it depends on the person, Dean. Trust me on that. It depends on the person. There's things you can do to keep up your reaction. There's things you can do to keep your spine. They always say when you reach a certain age, you lose an inch or half inch. There's things you can do to prevent that. You can do spinal stretches. You can hang. There's things you can do for everything. Natural things to keep your eyes going so you don't need glasses. Facial exercises. There's things to combat everything. Natural remedies for everything, but you could tell when people are just sheep and they just listen to what they've been fed. They don't listen, they don't research, they just listen to whatever's popular at the time. I'm not one of those. I like farms, but I didn't grow up in a farm. I'm certainly not a sheep. Holla at your boy. You know what I mean? What you laughing at? Over there giggling. What you giggling at?
I'm on TikTok.
I thought they banned TikTok. Like, when's that ban take place?
I don't know, but I think the House and Senate voted to ban TikTok.
Yeah, they did. So how are you still watching it? It's underground TikTok. illegal satellites. That was King Slender in the building says that was Fury's portrait. He must have gave it to Parker. Wow. Counterpunch. Kurt has met Dean in Vegas. Yeah, he interviewed Dean a while back, and I think he was trying to back when we didn't know where Dillian was. I think he was trying to bring Dean White on the show at the time, but we're in two different countries, so it's not always easy to get the times adjusted so we can when it's like 5 here, it's like 10 p.m. over there, so it's kind of difficult. But yeah, there's a couple interviews I want to get. I want to get Ray Mercer, David Tua, Lennox Lewis. Man, I would love to get that one. Larry Holmes. Who else? Evander Holyfield. Man, that would be great. That would really be great. And a lot of these fighters are humble because I see them doing interviews with platforms with like 300 subscribers and stuff like that, and 700. So they're not so egotistical where you have to have 1 million subs for them to give you an interview. So that's pretty cool. I would love to get Terrence Crawford on too, man. Terrence Crawford, one of the best ring IQs I've seen. Terrence Crawford is like a throwback fighter. The way he trains, his mental toughness, all that. Yeah, man. I was gonna do a video today outside, but while it was sunny, but things can change pretty quickly here in the south. Be sunny 1 minute and then overcast and storming the next. Welcome to the south. But there's some great interviews you guys should check out. You should check out Derek Chisora's interview with IFL TV. You should check out Dean White's interview. Forget the platform. Just type in recent Dean White interviews. You should check that out. There's one I started, but I got to finish it where, what's his name? Oh, man. Can't even think of his name. So anyway, yeah, there's a couple interviews out there. Mike Tyson with Sean Hannity. Check that out. Go check. You can check it out too on your Boy in the Bunkers platform. He breaks down the video and gives his opinion on who he thinks is gonna win. But yeah, it's a lot of the spotlight right now is on the heavyweight division, and you gotta like that. And it'll be interesting too to see how Jake Paul carries his weight at heavyweight. Because I don't know what he walks around at, but he hasn't been fighting professionally at heavyweight. So we'll see how he can handle holding that weight and how he can handle. He won't be. That's another thing. I was saying Jake Paul's going to run around the ring trying to avoid Mike Tyson, but it's going to be harder to move around the ring if you're heavier. I noticed in his last fight, I was like, Jake looks pretty thick tonight. I didn't know he was planning on moving up to heavyweight. He's probably heavyweight for his last fight, and we didn't know. Because you can always weigh more on the actual fight night because you've already weighed in. So it's going to be hard for him to run around the ring for it's probably an 8-round fight. I'm hoping it's at least 10. I'm hoping it's at least 10. But carrying that amount of weight that he's not used to carrying and running from Mike, and the fear factor is going to, when you're afraid, that's going to zap some of your energy. It's going to make you sleepy. Mr. Ngannou, it can make you sleepy. Fear can make you sleepy. And just anxiety can make you sleepy. The anxiety of knowing you're about to get hit by a Mike Tyson blow. is enough to make you sleepy, and the blow can actually put you to sleep. I just can't believe Mike Tyson. Who would ever thought that the day would come where people would write Mike Tyson off, man? This society, man. He's had another birthday. He's washed up. He can't do anything. Okay. Okie dokie. Yeah. But I'm trying to think if I covered everything I wanted to talk about. Of course, talked about I'm an official fan of Joseph Parker now. I love the sense of humor. I like when guys take the sport seriously, but they don't take themselves so seriously that they can't crack a joke. So I like that. Talked about Joshua's back in the gym, Trezor going in Ngannou pretty rough. Talked about Mike Tyson's interview with Sean Hannity. Yeah, I guess that might do it, y'all. And hopefully I can chop it up with everybody tomorrow. It's been nice. Remember, the Most High is Yahweh. He reigns supreme. Yeshua reigns supreme. LSR forever. If you wish to donate to the platform, the Cash App is $JRoos33. LSR forever, like I said. And be fearless. Yay.